Have you ever had a moment that made your skin crawl? A shadow where there shouldn't be one? A whisper in an empty room, or something you simply can't explain? If so, we want to hear from you. Here at the Haunted UK podcast, we're always on the lookout for spine-tingling stories to feature in our end-of-season listener episodes and our short haunt series. Whether it's a chilling encounter, a mysterious experience, or something that's haunted you for years, we want your tale. Send your story to contact us at hauntedukpodcast.com. And don't forget to follow us on social media: Facebook, X at Haunted UK Pod, TikTok and Instagram at Haunted UK Podcast, or visit our website www.hauntedukpodcast.com. Now, if you love what we do and want even more haunted goodies, then you can support the show on Patreon and Ko-fi. We've got 2 brilliant tiers, Possessed and Spooked, both packed with bonus content, exclusive episodes, and extra material that'll keep you up all night. But that's not all. We've launched a brand new sister podcast, Haunted UK Fiction, and we're calling all storytellers. Whether you're a published author, an aspiring writer, or someone with a natural gift for spinning eerie tales, we're looking for original fictional short stories and novellas with strong paranormal or supernatural themes. Think suspenseful, mysterious, atmospheric, terrifying, thought-provoking, even darkly magical. If your story is selected, we'll professionally narrate, record, mix and master it into an audiobook-style format, then feature it on the show. You'll get a copy of the finished production to use however you like, and you'll retain full ownership of your work. Submit your story to hauntedukfiction@hotmail.com and follow us on Instagram at hauntedukfiction. So whether it's truth or fiction, if it's haunted, we want it. Now, sit back and enjoy the episode. In the months following World War II, Antarctica drew the attention of one of the most ambitious polar expeditions in history, Operation Highjump, led by Admiral Richard E. Byrd in 1946 to 1947. Officially, the mission was straightforward: a massive naval operation to train personnel, test new equipment in extreme polar conditions, and establish research outposts. The US Navy deployed thousands of personnel, dozens of ships, and a fleet of aircraft to navigate the treacherous ice. But as often happens in isolated, secretive places, reality and rumour quickly intertwined. Almost immediately after the expedition, extraordinary stories began to circulate. Some claimed that Byrd's reconnaissance flights revealed not endless ice, but vast stretches of greenery, lakes, and even herds of prehistoric creatures. Creatures reminiscent of mammoths, wandering in isolated valleys, hidden from human eyes. Few places on Earth inspire a sense of awe, mystery, and sheer impossibility quite like Antarctica, the 7th continent. A land of extremes, colder than any human heart, more isolated than any civilization, and more enigmatic than the deepest reaches of our imagination. It is a place where ice stretches as far as the eye can see, yet beneath that frozen surface, some claim, secrets lie waiting. Ancient knowledge, hidden civilizations, and perhaps even glimpses of technologies or beings beyond our understanding. And yet, Antarctica is not merely a stage for imagination. It is strictly regulated, governed by the Antarctic Treaty of 1961, an agreement among nations designed to preserve the continent for science and environmental protection. No one may simply wander onto this icy expanse. And it is precisely this combination of inaccessibility, secrecy, and stark otherworldly beauty that has made Antarctica a magnet for conspiracy, speculation, and legend. To understand why, we must begin centuries ago, long before modern explorers first set foot on its ice. Long before the age of satellite imagery or global exploration, humans were mapping the world, or at least attempting to. Among the most enduring enigmas of cartography is the Piri Reis map, created in 1513 by the Ottoman admiral and cartographer Piri Reis. At first glance, it appears to depict only parts of South America and the Caribbean, but closer inspection reveals something extraordinary. The map also includes a southern landmass that bears an uncanny resemblance to Antarctica, decades, even centuries before its official discovery in 1820. And perhaps even more astonishing, some scholars suggest the depiction shows Antarctica without its ice sheet, as it might have looked thousands of years earlier. Piri Reis himself explained that he compiled the map from older sources, including Greek charts dating back centuries before his time. These, in turn, were allegedly based on even older Egyptian and Mesopotamian records. If true, this would mean that knowledge of the Earth's southernmost reaches may have survived through multiple civilizations. A tantalizing hint that human understanding of the world is far older than conventional history suggests. Some researchers take this a step further. They speculate that the knowledge preserved in these ancient maps may have originated from a civilization predating Egypt itself, perhaps even Atlantis, the legendary lost continent described by Plato. According to this theory, survivors of a global cataclysm could have carried their advanced knowledge northward, eventually seeding the civilizations of Egypt and Mesopotamia. While mainstream historians regard these ideas as speculative, they continue to fascinate because of the intriguing precision of the Piri Reis map, especially in coastal details that would not be officially surveyed for centuries. Consider the map's portrayal of South America. Major rivers, inlets, and coastlines are drawn with remarkable accuracy, even including features unknown to 16th century Europeans. For skeptics, these may be simple coincidences, errors in projection, or artistic interpretation. For others, they hint at a level of ancient geographic knowledge far beyond what conventional history accounts for. Complementing this is the so-called Terra Australis map, created in 1531, depicting a vast southern continent with mountain ranges and intricate coastlines. While historians argue that these features reflect long-standing hypotheses about a balancing southern landmass rather than empirical observation, the resemblance to modern Antarctic outlines cannot help but spark the imagination. The Piri Reis map raises profound questions. Could an ancient civilization, long erased from history, have possessed the means to chart the world with such precision? Did they navigate oceans with techniques now lost to time, or perhaps even possess technology that allowed them to observe the Earth in ways that seem impossible for their era? Even if the map is partly the product of chance or speculative cartography, it represents something deeper, a human desire to understand, explore, and record the unknown. Antarctica, as it appears on these ancient charts, becomes more than ice and rock. It becomes a symbol, a testament to what might have been known, remembered, or imagined, and a reminder that the world may still hold secrets older than any modern civilization. Whether fact, interpretation or legend, these ancient maps set the stage for every subsequent Antarctic mystery. They invite us to consider the possibility that the continent at the bottom of the world is not just a modern frontier of science, but a place whose history may reach millennia into the past, carrying whispers of civilizations long lost beneath the ice. By the mid-20th century, Antarctica had become far more than a remote curiosity on a map. Its isolation, extreme climate, and immense resources made it a place of strategic interest for nations around the world. Yet rather than succumbing to territorial disputes and competition, Antarctica was transformed, at least on paper, into a continent dedicated to peace, science, and international cooperation. This transformation was cemented in the Antarctic Treaty of 1961, a landmark agreement that established Antarctica as a scientific preserve, prohibited military activity, and suspended territorial claims. It was signed by 12 nations initially, including the United States, the Soviet Union, and the United Kingdom, and later expanded to include more than 50 countries. For the casual observer, the treaty is a model of diplomacy, a place where nations set aside political differences to study the environment, climate, and unique ecosystems. But for those fascinated by secrecy and hidden knowledge, it also raises questions. Why, they ask, must a continent so vast, seemingly lifeless, and remote be governed so strictly? Why do explorers, researchers, and even governments require special approval just to set foot on the ice? The truth is practical. Antarctica is extraordinarily harsh. Temperatures can plunge below -80 degrees C, and winds often exceed hurricane force. Logistical challenges are immense, and accidents can quickly become fatal. Regulation ensures safety, coordination, and environmental protection. But the rules also create the perfect environment for speculation. The fewer people who have access, the more mysterious it becomes. Restricted zones, secretive research stations, and limited photographic documentation make it difficult for outsiders to verify claims or uncover anomalies. For some, the combination of secrecy and extreme remoteness suggests that perhaps there is more hidden beneath the ice than maps or science reveal. Secrecy alone is enough to fuel imagination. When only a small fraction of humanity has ever seen the continent firsthand, legends are free to flourish. Scientists, explorers, and governments may have purely rational reasons for control, but in the public mind, control often equals concealment. Indeed, the Antarctic Treaty inadvertently created the perfect stage for the stories that would follow: tales of hidden bases, unexplored valleys, and ancient civilizations preserved beneath glaciers. From secret Nazi installations to extraterrestrial encounters, the myths and conspiracies that surround Antarctica today are, in part, a reflection of the very governance designed to protect it. In a sense, Antarctica itself becomes a character, one defined by isolation, danger, and secrecy. Its blank, frozen expanses are a canvas for human curiosity, fear, and imagination. And as the treaty enforces limits on exploration, it also preserves the mystique of the unknown, ensuring that Antarctica will always remain a frontier where science and speculation collide. In 1946, the United States launched Operation Highjump, a massive naval expedition commanded by Admiral Richard Byrd. Officially, the mission was a training exercise to test personnel and equipment in polar conditions, establish research stations, and gather scientific data. But the mission quickly became the source of extraordinary claims. According to legend, Byrd reported flying over vast ice-free valleys, seeing greenery, lakes, and herds of creatures thought extinct. Mammoths, some say. Even more incredible, some accounts claim he glimpsed a glittering city of crystalline structures, watched over by beings unlike any humans. These claims are not in Byrd's official logs. Most historians dismiss them as myth, yet the stories have persisted for decades, fueling speculation about what might lie beneath the ice. Could there have been advanced civilizations before us? Were remnants of Nazi technology or experimentation hidden in Antarctica? Such stories paint Byrd as a reluctant explorer who stumbled into a world entirely unknown, a place that seemed to defy the laws of nature. But when we look at Byrd's official flight logs and expedition records, the extraordinary descriptions vanish. No mention of mammoths, crystalline cities, or mysterious messages exists. Scholars point to these claims as myth-making, inspired perhaps by post-war anxieties, UFO lore, and the human tendency to imagine the unknown. Yet the legends persist, in part because Operation Highjump itself was massively secretive and logistically complex. The public saw only fragments of the operation's goals, which left space for speculation. What could thousands of men, dozens of ships, and experimental aircraft really uncover in Antarctica's vast uncharted expanse? In the absence of full disclosure, imagination filled the gaps. Some researchers suggest that tales of Nazi flying discs, hidden bases, and mysterious Antarctic encounters grew directly out of the post-war fascination with secret technologies and unexplained aerial phenomena. Stories of Byrd encountering anomalous forces, according to these theories, may reflect both the psychological impact of isolation in extreme conditions and the global paranoia of a world entering the Cold War. The allure of Byrd's expedition is timeless. On one level, it was a historic achievement in exploration and logistics. On another, it became a catalyst for imagination, a touchstone for every subsequent Antarctic legend, from subterranean tunnels to polar men, from hidden Nazi strongholds to extraterrestrial bases. For listeners, Byrd embodies the archetypal explorer, brave, resourceful, and standing at the edge of the unknown, where the line between reality and myth is impossible to discern. Whether Byrd actually witnessed extraordinary phenomena or whether stories were exaggerated, his expedition illustrates a simple truth. Antarctica's isolation, extremity, and secrecy make it the perfect canvas for the unknown. Even today, more than 70 years later, Byrd's flights remain a starting point for every tale that dares to suggest that beneath the ice lies something humanity is not meant to see, something powerful, hidden, and enduringly mysterious. By the 1950s, Antarctica had become more than just a frozen wilderness or a focus of post-war expeditions. It was a canvas for the unexplained, a setting for encounters that blurred the line between reality and imagination. And no figure embodies this more than Albert Bender, a researcher whose work would intertwine the continent with UFO lore. Bender, founder of the International Flying Saucer Bureau, spent years collecting reports of unidentified flying objects. By 1953, he claimed that he had finally solved the mystery of the UFOs, only to find himself silenced. According to his account, strange, intimidating figures arrived at his door, the so-called Men in Black, dressed in dark suits with glowing red eyes. They demanded that he cease all investigations. Their warnings were cryptic, their presence otherworldly, and their authority absolute. Bender's experiences did not end there. He later claimed that these Men in Black were not human, that they were extraterrestrial agents working through or alongside a secretive global network, and crucially, he linked them to subterranean bases in Antarctica, suggesting that the frozen continent harbored hidden technology, alien life, and knowledge far beyond that humanity could comprehend. Whether psychological, fantastical, or inspired by real events, Bender's accounts captured the imagination. They positioned Antarctica as the ultimate frontier of secrecy, a place where traditional boundaries of science, politics, and reality no longer applied. To Bender and those who followed his work, the continent was not merely a distant landmass. It was a hub for forces, both human and alien, a stage where the unknown could manifest. The implications were staggering. If Bender were telling even a fraction of the truth, Antarctica was more than the last great wilderness. It was a watchtower for extraterrestrial presence, a vault where humanity's understanding of the universe might intersect with intelligence far beyond our own. Even today, decades later, the legend of Bender and the Men in Black continues to influence conspiracy narratives. While mainstream UFO researchers often categorize his claims as a mixture of personal vision, folklore, and psychological stress, the allure remains. Antarctica's isolation, its harsh climate, and the secrecy surrounding human activity there create the perfect environment for such stories to persist. Bender's accounts remind us that mystery is not just about what is hidden, but also about what our minds are compelled to imagine in the absence of certainty. Antarctica, with its vast ice sheets and uncharted expanses, becomes more than a physical place. It is a mirror reflecting the limits of human knowledge, the shadows of our fears, and the enduring question: what lies beneath the surface, waiting for us to find it? In connecting UFOs, secret authorities, and Antarctica, Bender's story fuses myth, paranoia, and possibility. It is a tale that underscores why Antarctica continues to inspire legends that feel as vast and mysterious as the continent itself. Even in recent decades, Antarctica has refused to surrender its secrets. Its vast frozen expanse, extreme weather, and restricted access continue to make it a fertile ground for speculation, even in the age of satellites and GPS mapping. Take, for instance, the discovery of the ozone hole in 1984. To the scientific community, it was a measurable consequence of chlorofluorocarbons, a stark reminder of humanity's impact on the environment. Yet in the world of conspiracy, the same hole became a signal of hidden experiments, secret nuclear tests, clandestine military operations, or environmental manipulations taking place beyond the public eye. The idea of a vast, empty continent with a hole in the sky above it was enough to capture imaginations, turning science into a stage for intrigue. Then, in 1999, reports surfaced of unknown viruses preserved in Antarctic ice, some claiming that these ancient pathogens had never encountered human hosts. While mainstream researchers treated this as preliminary or hypothetical, conspiracy theorists drew connections to lost Nazi bioweapons or secret experiments hidden beneath the ice. Antarctica, in this interpretation, becomes a repository, a frozen vault where dangerous knowledge might lie dormant, waiting to be uncovered. And the mystery continues with tragedy. On December 10, 2019, a Chilean military plane carrying 38 people vanished en route to King George Island. No distress signal was received, and no wreckage was immediately found. While experts attribute such accidents to treacherous weather conditions in the Drake Passage, the event quickly became fodder for speculation. Could the plane have encountered something unseen? Secret bases? Unmapped tunnels? Or simply the harsh, unpredictable forces of nature? The absence of answers only fuels the imagination. These modern mysteries share common threads: danger, inaccessibility, and secrecy. Antarctica is not just physically remote, it is politically and logistically controlled. Research stations are scattered, access is tightly regulated, and much of the continent remains unvisited. Even the most mundane events, a missing plane, a scientific anomaly, a natural phenomena, take on an air of suspense and secrecy in this environment. In many ways, the modern era of Antarctic exploration continues the same story told by explorers and cartographers centuries ago. The unknown endures. The continent's ice, its winds, and its silence provide both protection and concealment. Every discovery, every incident becomes a spark for imagination, a reminder that Antarctica is a place where the lines between reality, myth, and conspiracy are always blurred. Whether we look to the ozone hole, ancient viruses or vanished planes, the message is clear. Antarctica remains a canvas for both science and speculation. It challenges our assumptions about what we know and what we can ever hope to fully understand. In the modern age, as in centuries past, the continent is not simply a land of ice. It is a realm of mystery, a reminder that human imagination thrives wherever the world remains out of reach. So what do we make of all these stories? From ancient maps like the Piri Reis chart, to tales of Byrd and Operation Highjump, to legends of the polar men, UFOs and modern anomalies, Antarctica has long been a mirror for human curiosity, fear and imagination. The continent's appeal is simple yet profound. It is vast, isolated and extreme, a place where humans venture at great risk, yet where so little is truly known. Its ice sheets hide secrets, geological, biological and perhaps even historical, that are inaccessible to most. Every expedition, every discovery, every unexplained event reinforces a sense of mystery and wonder. At times, Antarctica has been portrayed as a stage for human ingenuity, from ancient civilizations charting the southern lands to modern military operations testing the limits of exploration. At other times, it has been a canvas for the unknown, subterranean cities, genetically engineered super soldiers, and extraterrestrial visitors. Whether these stories are true, partially true, or purely imaginative, they all reveal something essential about humanity: our desire to explore the limits of the world and our own understanding. Even today, Antarctica retains its mystique. The Antarctic Treaty preserves it as a scientific preserve, yet that very protection fuels speculation. Limited access, extreme conditions, and the presence of international research stations create an aura of secrecy that invites stories of hidden experiments, lost civilizations, and undiscovered phenomena. Perhaps that is the true allure of Antarctica. It is both known and unknown. Science can measure its ice, map its mountains, and monitor its climate. Yet beneath the surface lies the possibility of something more. History lost to time, life adapted to extremes, or phenomena beyond our current understanding. The continent challenges us to ask questions that may never be fully answered, to imagine what lies just beyond reach, and to confront the limits of human knowledge. Antarctica is more than ice, wind, and isolation. It is a symbol of the mysteries that endure despite our technology, of the curiosity that drives explorers, and of the stories that persist in our imagination. Whether you approach it as a place of rigorous science or a stage for legend, one truth remains: Antarctica will always be a frontier, not just of geography, but of human wonder. And so, as we leave this frozen continent behind, we're reminded that some of the world's greatest secrets are not necessarily locked away in vaults or archives. Sometimes, they lie beneath the ice, beyond the reach of ordinary exploration, waiting for those who dare to imagine the unknown.